Hey y'all, I am here in Chicago for the Chicago Urban Book Festival put on by Jessica N. Watkins. I'm doing a one-day vlog for this just because I am only here for the book expo signing. Now, that is free. Let me tell you, you've got plenty of authors that you know and love, including your girl Jacquel J, for free in Chicago. Now, I'm only 4 hours away. I took a train to get here. My best friend is actually running a half marathon. And so we're doing both of our hobbies on the same time, together but separate. And I love that for myself. So let's get into the books that I've read on the way to this event. I decided to read on the train and I wanted to pick up C.U.B.E, Street Chaos by Tatiana Timmons, I want to say. This is a kind of like a prequel, a setup for the series. It gets you introduced to each one of the C.U.B.Es, and let me tell you, it was the best thing possible. Like, I think all authors that do a interconnected series that really has a follow-through storyline needs to take notes, because the way that Tatiana set this up, it dropped us right into the action. We didn't spend time like trying to figure out who was who. We were dropped into a scene where they were torturing someone and asking where the money is. Like, let's get straight to the action. Let's make it happen. This is following this is following 5 men that are in a biker gang, and they also do some illegal activities, but there is one person in particular that is trying to have the gentleman do better for themselves, and he is kind of like the leader of the gang. They started with 2 people. So Chevy, who is the character that we know little about. He is very mysterious. He has a past. He is trying to get the C.U.B.Es to move in a different direction. He is trying to get them to have like legit businesses and all of the things in that regard. So Chevy is one of the original members that started the C.U.B.Es. Then you have his counterpart, which is Zoo. Now, Zoo's real name is Zeus. I was wondering, I was like, who is Zoo? Like, what is that name? And it's spelled Z-U versus the biker club is Z-O-O. And I was like, things aren't matching up. When I realized his name was Zeus, I said, got it. Makes total sense now. Now, Zoo is different. Zoo is where you have your main male character, Chevy, that is very low key about his business. Zoo is wild and reckless. Zoo has a gambling problem, and he gets the C.U.B.Es into a lot of trouble, which you get to see in this series, because he's like, I gotta put a bet on. I got to make this money. I've got to compete and race, and I've got to put all my boys who gonna back me regardless into the chaos. That is truly how this book premise is set up. So you've got Chevy and Zoo. They are originally homeboys that started the crew together. They are starting to see themselves in different lights, and it provides a lot of push and pull for the other 3 members. Those members being Diamond. Diamond is your playboy. He is a pretty boy. He is the funny, goofy character, gives a lot of banter. He is someone that you're going to see different sides of him. He is methodical in terms of, like, while he is out here dealing with women, he is always keeping his eye on the crowd. He knows what's going on. Even if he has a lady sitting right on his lap, he's going to be able to spot the man that walks in the door, the gentleman that went into the bathroom. He is keeping an eye on everything. And then you've got one of my favorite characters, which is Preach. Preach is a preacher's kid, and that is where he gets his name from. Preach is down. He has a foot in both worlds. Like, his father still has him in the church, so he's always doing church activities, trying to make sure that when he's getting involved in some of these street races, he's getting involved in some of these dirtier works that the C.U.B.Es get into. He's like, well, let me say a prayer for the guy before I send him up to meet his maker, because it's only right that everybody gets a chance to meet God before they meet God. And I'm like, I understand. Preach is about balance. Like, while he is a man that understands the word, he also understands that he don't want anybody to respect him or his voice. And I really enjoy the way he brings a little bit of light into the characters, while also surprisingly giving some really good one-liners and some comedic lines. Like, Preach is book 2. Like, he is the first character that gets his own storyline directly after this, and I'm can't wait to get my hands on it. I believe that the audiobook for that comes out next week. So I may be continuing on via audio formats because I am liking Winston James and Nicole Small's audio narration of this. I don't know if they're going to narrate the second book, but if they do, getting my hands on it. The last and final member is Foe. Foe is the last and final character of the Zoo Boys. And I don't know why that was escaping me, because the way in which it wraps up, like, I am dying to get to Foe's book, because there is a love triangle that will happen between Foe, one of the characters, female characters we know in this book, and another one of the Zoo Boys. So, like, why that was escaping me, I don't know, because I'm locked into that storyline or plot. And that's saying a lot, because I am not a person who likes love triangles. Baby, pick a man, go forth, let's move on. I don't want this back and forth. But when it's between homeboys or when it's between brothers, I may be a little bit stepped in. That's the toxic in me. But when it's two stranger men I don't know and I don't care about, skip me. But Foe is Chevy's protege. So he was brought into the crew by Chevy, but he has a extreme loyalty to all of the guys. Foe is pretty much the one that has loyalty. You can count on him for whatever. And it's very interesting because when I think of Foe, I automatically think of Meg Thee Stallion's dog. So I was like, oh, he's got to be like a lovable character, which Foe is. And I am interested to know a lot more about him. Again, you don't really tap into his storyline, and I think that's intentional because, again, he is going to be intertwined with two, like FMC that we met in this story, and one of the Zoo Boys, in terms of getting to peel back the onion and see, do I really want that FMC to be with Foe, or do I want it to be with other characters? I don't want to spoil anything because, again, that is the joy of reading this book. When I tell you there is action, there is comedy, there is backstory and history, there is high stakes. Tatiana really did her big one and made me want to jump immediately into the next book. Like, it gets messy in terms of there's another crew that is trying to take the Zoo Boys down, and they're implanting a lot of women to try to make the boys fall. And from there you get to see like how their dynamics, how their trust and respect for one another, how they always support each other, and how it has to be Zoo over everything because everyone's willing to take them down. And so once we get to see the interaction and the dynamics, you're only going to want to read more. So that was the first thing I read. I am currently in the middle of reading Blake Moore's The Soul of a Cupid, because it's fall season. We're getting ready to roll into paranormal season, and I have seen very few books about Cupid, so I'm like, okay, let's look it up, because the man on this cover, if that's what Cupid looks like, baby, hit me with an arrow. I am thoroughly enjoying this. I think I'm about 32% in. You've got Zahn, who is our male main character. He is a Cupid by nature, right? He was born to be a Cupid. However, he does not believe in love. He's not interested in finding it for himself because he sees the realistic aspect of it, right? Like, he's like, I put these two people together. They are soulmates. They're supposed to be together. But free will and human will allows them to be stupid and do whatever. They break up about 50% of the time. That the 80% that I set up works. Like, I do my part, y'all not doing y'all part, and then I go back to find out 2 weeks later y'all decided that y'all cheated on each other or y'all got greed or whatever. So he's like, I'm over it, I'm just here to do my job. But his passion is that he is an attorney, and he is attorney for the rich and wealthy. He is also very rich and wealthy, so he is a part of a matchmaking service, right? So he's like, okay, well, since I can't find my love myself, that's not how Cupid works. I decide to enroll in a matchmaking services, but it's solely for the connection of meeting other rich and wealthy women who are powerful, who are not looking for love, but looking for interaction with a man on their level. That would be me. And so Zahn has been a part of that for a while. He never thought that he would run into his best friend's sister, which this is a best friend sister, little sister romance. He never thought that he would see her attractive. He never thought that he would have to run across her in the business because she works on a different side. Her name is Emery, and she is a matchmaker, but she typically handles the love and relationship portions, right? So there is two different sides to this matchmaking agency. You've got the ones that are just looking for intimacy, but they are doing so as a paid profile, and then you're the ones that are looking for love and intimacy. So their paths would have never crossed, except for the fact that they share a common mutual, which is Emery's brother, who also happens to be Zahn's law partner. They own a law practice, and so he's always looked at her as a little sister until one day he walks into his best friend's office and he sees her he sees that his best friend is hugging a woman. He's like, "Ooh, her profile, who is this? Like, bro, you on?" And he's like, "Nah, this Emery, my sister, you remember?" And he's like, "I never saw her as a woman, and now I do." And so he's starting to realize he has an attraction for her, but he's never letting himself cross that line until she sees him in his real form. Now, the thing about this particular lure is that if you see a Cupid in their real form, it's because you're their soulmate. And so she sees him in his real form while he's on a job. Now, she didn't get to see who is getting ready to shoot, which makes it that much more interesting. This becomes like a messy situation because everyone is about to become really intertwined and become family, but they are trying to push it away. Now, he's like, "I don't want to tell Emery that she's my soulmate because that comes with expectation and obligations. I don't really believe in the soulmate business looking at my parents. So what can I do to get her off of this case?" She's like, "I'll make a deal with you. I'll keep your secret if you help me win in business." So because I'm in this matchmaking business, I have my nemesis who's always trying to one up me and make herself look good in front of the boss. Because you have an inkling, right? Because of your job, because of who you are, you can say if this pairing will work or not. So I'm going to keep your secret, but what you have to do is tell me if these matches work. And at first she wanted to know who her match was. He was like, "No, I will help you pair your matches together." And in that, they decide to go into this business deal together. And I feel like that close proximity is really going to be the thing that draws them together. However, the thing that I just read, just imagine you are out on, like, Cupid is out on a date and he is trying to get Emery off his mind, and she is pleasuring herself and she accidentally summons him to her bedroom because he's like, "I hear someone calling my name," and his Cupid is like, "That's our woman, like, we've got to go get her," thinking like she is in danger or something. And he walks in and the sight that he sees, he's weak in the knees. That is where I'm going to leave you. I am going to continue reading on, and then I'm going to take you on into the expo so we can talk and meet with some of the authors. Talk to y'all soon. Got you for 7 days straight, and now I can't live without you. You had me broke up, I won't want to get without you. You forever in my heart. I won't forget about you. I be crushing you on Monday like this Wednesday. Of course, about that, good job, Wednesday. Please be serious with your business. I'm so happy you ain't listening. You can tell me how you want it, how you need it. So I'm back home from C.U.B.E, and I had a crazy great time. So much of a good time that I actually missed my train home that night, and I had to go out the next morning. So that just tells you how much of a vibe and a good time that I was having, that I never wanted to leave the event. It was mainly because I stood in Jacquel J's line after I had already picked up my pre-orders from her to get some additional books, because I just knew if I didn't do it now, the chances were going to be slim, being that I'm not going to some of the bookish events that she'll be at in 2026. So was it worth it? I'd say yes, but would I recommend standing in line and missing your train? No, I would not. I will tell you it wasn't a fun experience when it came down to figuring out what I needed to do, but all's well that ends well. I am back home safe, and I am here to talk about my experience at C.U.B.E, haul some books for you, and wrap up my thoughts on A Soul of a Cupid. So let's go ahead and start there. Soul of a Cupid by Blake Moore. Now, unfortunately, Blake did not attend the event. I was very, very hopeful that she was going to be there so I could pick up this book from her because I actually really enjoyed it. Do know that it has the miscommunication trope, so if that is your pet peeve, know that it is strong here. However, I to some degree understood why Zahn was neglecting to tell her that he was her soulmate. Emery definitely had a visceral reaction, and I do like that he abided by her decision of like giving her some space, giving her some time. But unfortunately, it was at the detriment of his health, because if he is away from his soulmate, if he does not claim her, he will wither away and die. But that just lets you know how much he loves and respects her. Unfortunately, my good sir, she wants to be with you, and you're too bullheaded to just man up and fast. So there was a little bit of tension towards the end, but I really liked how Blake decided to wrap it up and really give them the opportunity to make amends and move forward, being that they were truly soulmates, and one thing you can't beat is what fates are telling you. So if you are looking for a paranormal romance, something quick, easy, and entertaining, but also has some really good spice, check out this one. I'm telling you, I really enjoy it, and will probably be reading more from Blake. Now, to talk about my C.U.B.E experience. Now, I did not go to the gala, nor did I go to the meet and greet. A lot of that other things were ticketed or priced at a certain level, and I just wanted to come in from the expo. So I do like how Jessica Watkins has the ability to give a little bit for someone. Each person has the thing that they may want. If you want to have a more intimate session, the meet and greet would be perfect for you. If you want to dress up and you want to spend time going to dinner and engaging in that bookish space, the gala would be perfect. But for me, I just wanted to go see some authors, get some book signs, and enjoy the vibes. And let me tell you, the vibes of the expo was immaculate. First and foremost, let me say this is doing something unlike any other expo in the fact that this expo is free. It does not charge. There is no price fee. It is, you sign up, you say that you're attending, and you walk in the door, and you are already transported into what I would consider is like a family reunion, a cookout, a gathering. There was a great DJ that was playing literally all the tunes. I found myself like jamming and grooving, and the time just flew by. That DJ hit the notes on the head to where like the entire room was just vibing with one another. And then to add on to that, Jessica knew that where people are and where there's a good time, money being spent, it would never hurt to have a cash bar. So she had a bartender there mixing up all different types of drinks where that you, as you're waiting in line, you weren't waiting empty-handed. You can go in, purchase a glass of wine, purchase an old-fashioned, whatever is your choice. And let me tell you, the thing that took it over the top for me, a lot of the times these events are filled with women because we are romance readers. We want to connect. We want to be in community. But in this event, it was male friendly as well because a lot of the people brought their husbands, obviously to shell out the cash or to hold their books. But when the men had a downtime and if they were not there to see an offer, so I'm not telling you men that we don't want you in our spaces. I'm telling you, if you happen to come and you're not a romance reader, but you're supporting your significant other, Jessica had the Sunday game on the TV show at the hotel. So she was able to have like a waiting area to where if you just need to take a break, you spent all your money, you could sit down and just relax, listen to the music. If you wanted to watch the game, there was a corner in which the football game was on because of course it's Sunday, so no one wants to leave Sunday night football. So she had that section in the corner for anyone that wanted to watch football. It overall had a little bit something for everyone. It was just well thought out and well organized. Again, I have to harp on this, not only because it was a fantastic space, but it was also free, which just really shows the love and support that she gives to the people that gives back to her. They had an amazing like MC. I'm assuming that was like her cousin, her friend, somebody that she knows and loves because she was hyping up all of the authors. You would think that she was everyone's best friend. Anytime that a author would sell out, she'd make an announcement. One, so everyone knew that if you were looking for a book or if you needed to, it was your last chance. Those author was about to sell out. And when they did, we all celebrated them. Yes, it may be difficult because you didn't get the book that you wanted. However, we all wanted to go in and support. We were cheering, we were clapping, we were screaming and yelling because it is fantastic when you get to see an author sell out. These are indie Black romance authors who are coming, and again, they're bringing their books, they're wanting to engage, they're wanting to profit from this experience as well. And to see us sell out a room minute after minute after minute, it was the most beautiful experience that I can say that I've been to in quite a while. And I've been to my fair share of bookish events. I will tell you, some of the areas of opportunity for me was that, again, it was very, very packed, very crowded. So having a little bit more wiggle room would have been nice, especially for people like myself and others that had carts. There were people in there that had brought their strollers because, again, it was family friendly, so you could bring your children in. But to have a little bit more room in between the tables, they had an area that was set for a dance floor because, again, they had a DJ. So it made it a little bit difficult to navigate through that. But again, nothing that we couldn't manage. My other area of opportunity was for the authors. A lot of them, like I said, were selling out like hotcakes. Like, you could not take a breather without an author selling out, which is fantastic. But that also left opportunities for people wanting to purchase books or people engaging with new to them authors that didn't get an opportunity to purchase a book. So being able to prepare a little bit more, whether it is setting an option for pre-orders, a lot of these authors did not have pre-orders listed on Benventi, and that could have helped us tremendously, or just bringing a few more books. Again, I know it's a risky investment to travel all of those books and maybe not sell out. But one of the things that the authors did do was give the flip side. If they did sell out, some of them allowed for pre-orders to be placed so that you could put in and get free shipping. Others would allow their pre-orders to sell and them to make some sort of arrangement. So I really did appreciate all of the authors that knew they had sold out and still wanted to give people the opportunity to take pictures, to buy books, and to just feel welcomed and get their experience as well. A lot of them were still willing to take pictures, sign things. I even had an author that was like, hey, I don't want to take any of this back. I've got a handful left. Take something that you want. And I think that was just amazing for me to experience, because the book that I wanted was not at the table, but I was still able to pick something up. So all in all, fantastic event. I would highly recommend it if you are in the area, if you are looking to go to a bookish event that's in the Midwest, or if you're wanting to see an author that you didn't get tickets for that would be at something else. For example, I'm not going to currently, right? I'm going to cross my fingers. Hopefully it happens. But right now I did not get a ticket for Black Romance Book Festival 2026. So if I did not get that opportunity to see Jacquel there, I was glad that I was able to purchase a lot of her catalog in Chicago. So that being said, I think I've gabbed enough. I've hyped this event enough. It is well deserving of the hype. But I do want to talk about some of the authors that I met and also show you some of the books that I picked up. So first and foremost, I'm going to start with this purple bag. This was what I picked up from A Blossom. Now, I've seen A Blossom a number of times. She is also a St. Louis native like myself. I am supporting her for her very first event next year in 2026. So I am a social media influencer for Petals and Prose. Tickets are on sale now. So if you're wanting to go to another Midwestern event that is hosted by Black romance indie authors, I'm going to tell you to check out Petals and Prose. Even though I'm going to see her there and I will be doing pre-orders, I wanted to support her because us girlies from St. Louis got to stick together. So I did pre-order 2 books from her. She had the special edition of Leak It. This is a polyamorous romance. and there are some ties between these two because I believe that they are brothers. So I am very, very interested in reading this. I love the special edition cover. Cannot wait to get into it. And this was one I wanted to pick up from her at that event. And then I needed to pick up Playing with Soul Ties. This is the second in the Soul Ties series. This is a surprise pregnancy trope. She's not really sure who the father is, but I am hoping it is this gentleman here on the cover. I am very interested in reading this. This is set in St. Louis, so you know, again, I had to support. But this is what I picked up from A Blossom. Obviously, love her down, so wanted to make sure I support. Another author that I pre-ordered from gave me this amazing bag. Now, I only ordered 2 things from her, and somehow I wind up with a ton of swag. She was so nice, so friendly. She was like, oh, you have a pre-order? Just come up here. You can jump the line while my assistant is getting this together. I'll take pictures with you and just chit chat. And like, she was so gorgeous and so friendly and so kind. So I'm going to show you the things that was added into my bag before I show you the books. So she provided me with a little notepad that had some stickies, some notes, just things for me to jot down. So I really enjoyed this, and it's very pocket sized, so I could just put it in my bag and go. I also received this little care package, which was very considerate. It has like some eye masks, a picture, some lip gloss, and what is this? Oh, some bookmarks. So this is bookmarks for the books that I did get. So Smoke a Hitman's Melody and The Outlaw. So these are the 2 books, and I was able to get bookmarks with that. Again, not something that I was expecting to get, but absolutely am appreciative of. In this little box or container, I have a mug. Always could use another coffee mug. It's just a general black coffee mug, like something standard, nothing really particular to the book, but I do appreciate her giving this to me. And then the last additional item I received was another cup. So this one has the little cleaner straw, and I really appreciate this because I don't have one of these frosted glasses. So I think this is really nice. Probably get into some iced coffee. It says, because sometimes you like a little drama and spice in your books, by A.A. Lewis. So, and it has like the bamboo top with the hole for the straw. So this is definitely going to come in handy for me. So I am very grateful that A.A. Lewis saw fit for me to receive these additional items, because again, I wasn't expecting any of this. And that just lets you know she really appreciates people that support her. She really appreciates her readers and want to give everyone something a little extra. So I did pick up all of this in addition to the books. So the 2 books that I picked up from her is Smoke a Hitman's Bodyguard. I believe this is the story where the hitman is scheduled to take out this FMC, but yet he falls in love with her and they run away together. So I'm very interested to see that. Like, even the small little glimpse of the profile just lets me know Smoke is the guy, right? So this is the first book in the series, and then the second is The Outlaw's Fire Symphony. This is his brother, and I don't know too much about this, but I was like, okay, this delicious man on the cover lets me know I'm in for a treat. So again, when you give me Outlaw and you've already kind of set the stage with his brother, I said, yeah, sign me up. I want both of these. I have to have it on my shelf. So this is what I picked up from A.A. Lewis. I'm hoping that I enjoy this. I have been in a mafia era here lately, so this will definitely continue on that trend. Now, earlier I told you all about the author that I was able to see that I did not get a chance to get the book that I wanted from them, so they just told me I can take whatever off of the table. That was Tatum James, and the book that I was able to pick up from them is Married to a Rich Gangster 2. Now, I've read Married to a Rich Gangster 1, and that is one that I would have purchased with this one, but the assistant had already sold that off to someone. And sometimes it does perturb me why people would buy one book and not buy the other when it's a companion and they have to go together. But again, everyone wants to do a little bit of a sample, so I get it. So me being able to get book 2 was very, very appreciated, because this is the one I still have to read. Like, I've read the first one, I need to read the second one, and I can jump right into it. So thank you so very much, Tatum James, for allowing me to get this one, and I will be going back to pick up the first one. Now, I did get to meet my homeboy, Norian, and let me tell you, I chewed him out from here, St. Louis to Chicago, and all the way back, because I recently read Money, Sex, Power, which I had already had signed because I got it from him when I was in Steaming Lit. But I had just read it right before I came on this trip. And if you want to see my reactions, I can drop that in this video as well, because I did read that in preparation for this. I can give you some of my thoughts now. So when I seen him, we had a full-blown conversation, and it was very wild. It felt very like, you know, kinship, very camaraderie. It felt like antagonizing little sister to big bro, and I really enjoyed that interaction, so much so that, like, I was out there, like, peddling his books. A woman came up and she was like, okay, well, what book are you talking about? What has you so passionate? Because if you feel that way, I have to go buy it. So let me tell you, Norian was getting all of the words from me, but he was also getting all of the sales, because he had a couple of sales that went through as I was standing there bickering with him. But I wanted to make sure that I continued to support, that I was able to get another book signed. So I brought Autumn, which is the first in this new series. Each one of them is set for a season. So there's autumn, there's winter, I believe spring is coming out next, and then there is one that's called Blue. So Autumn is the first in the series, so I did get this sign from him. I am planning on continuing with Money, Power, Sex, Seduction. But once I finish that series, I will jump right into this one. And I hear the writing has definitely improved in terms of some of the word choices. Obviously, that was one of the things that we had to talk about. But granted, if you're interested in the book that I had mentioned, Money, Sex, Power, know that that's 9 years old, but the plot still lands. However, I am ready to see what he has done and how he has grown as a writer, how he has continued to keep us on our toes. And I hear nothing but great things from this series. So I was able to get this sign and just chit chat up with him. If you are looking for a black male romance author, I would highly encourage checking out Norian. He has a lot of suspense, a lot of drama, but also a lot of swoony moments. Now, the next author that I did pre-order from was Victoria C. Now, I met her at Black Romance Book Festival in 2025, earlier this year, because I had to have her sign my The Devil Wears Baccarat series. But since then, I have been hearing nothing but amazing things about a couple of other of her books. So I did pick up Mason Neiman, and I picked up book 1 and book 2. I hear this is the unhinged male main character that is one to beat. It rivals Ocean from Applying Pressure, and when you tell me that there is an unhinged male main character that is down bad and just dropping bodies left and right, I will appear. And so when I knew that she was going to be here, I heard everyone talking about it. I said, yeah, let me cop it. Dark romance and her go together real bad, and I want to be a part of the scene. Like, I want to know what this book has in store. And so I pre-ordered these two, but then I saw someone else talking about an interconnected book that goes along with this, but starts another series, which is The Brasi Family by her. So I did pick this one up as well. This is book 1, and I believe one of the FMCs from this book is who gets her main story in this family, and I believe it's like either a mafia or an underground crew that is out there involving themselves in some business, and the FMC runs into that and possibly has to make do of being with the male main character. So I want to pick up this, but again, in order for me to read that, I do need to read these. So this was probably one of the last things that she had on her table. Jatoria had almost sold out before I got there, but it was okay because I had my pre-orders. I also pre-ordered from Casey Mills. Unfortunately, I do not have those with me. She will be shipping those out. She did have my 2 copies, but the 2 copies that I needed were a continuation of Shadows and Whispers. So I think it's Dawn and Resurgent and whatever the third one is out. Unfortunately, at the time, I had sent her an email, but I think with the craziness of the pre-order, she wasn't able to accommodate what I needed for the C.U.B.E event, but she will be shipping those out to me. I needed a particular size because this is the larger size and I want all of my copies to match. So she was like, don't worry, boo, I got your email. I'll send it out to you. So I still took a picture with her. I still stood in line. I still wanted to support her. But of course, by the time I got there, everything was sold out. Like when I tell you she had brought books and she had sold numbers, Casey Mills has a fantastic backlist. She has a huge catalog, various different styles, whether it be a sports romance, a contemporary romance. She also has some romantic suspense, some motorcycle club. Like the lady is talented and gifted. So I wanted to support her, but everything had really pretty much sold out. And so I'm just waiting on the 2 that I ordered to come in so I can complete this set. Kay Shanae had a ton of books, but I did already have one of my favorites with me to bring for her to sign, which would have been Conflicted Hearts. So she was so gracious enough to sign this copy for me. She was like, hey, did you bring this from home? I said, yeah, girl. I already had it, loved it, read it, recommend it to everyone because this one is such a good emotional, conflicted read, right? The title says it all, Conflicted Hearts. This is a story where our FMC and our MMC are technically in-laws. Like she is married to his twin brother and he is married to her twin sister. Unfortunately, due to complications, the day in which she gives birth to her child is the day in which her husband dies and vice versa. Her sister dies on the birthing table and is leaving her child with her husband, and now they have to come together to raise their children to give them some semblance of normalcy in the household. And through that experience they start to fall in love, and obviously it's a conflicted situation because again, they did not see themselves as being in relationships with one another. They were forced to be in this position. And now their kids are very unsure of, are you my uncle? Are you my dad? Who are you to me? And what is the circumstance? But all they know is that they're brought up into a loving household. But their feelings about it and society's feelings about their relationship are very much at odds. So this one is one that I would highly recommend. I had such a good time reading it, and I was very gracious that Kay Shanae was able to sign it for me and just talk and chit-chat it up with me. I did get to see Elle Kaysen. I have Demon's Dream right here, which I decided not to bring with me because it was way too heavy to lug through in Chicago. So I did get her to sign it and take a picture. If I do have the chance to see her again, I will probably bring the book because I probably do want it to be signed. I just didn't want to go through the hassle of dragging it everywhere with me, but she was so nice and willing to just sign anything that I asked for. I was very conflicted about getting another set of books from her, but at the time she had sold out, which I'm so happy that she did because she deserves it. She has really done work and has been selling out of Demon's Dream, even the new cover. One of the special bind-ups and pre-orders that I had was from Misha Mesh. I had read this in preparation, at least the first part, in preparation for Chicago Urban Expo, and I fell in love. So I knew I had to have Baker's Bully. Like I said, this is a special bind-up edition, so it has Baker's Bully 1 and Baker's Bully 2 wrapped up into one. This cover is just beautiful. She is a chef. He owns a nightclub. If you watch my video, I'll link it in the cards. You get to see the tumultuous situation that they find themselves in and how their love story begins to blossom. The back is also very gorgeous. She was a very gorgeous woman. Put a picture up here. She was just so nice and so kind. She had, again, I say that about everyone, but truly these authors were just open to chatting with you. If they didn't have anything on their table to sell, they would still want to meet and greet and talk with you and really just get to know who you are as a reader and explain themselves as an author. So I was glad to get a chance to meet her, get this beautiful, stunning edition. Like I said, it is a chunker, but that's because both books are wrapped into one. Now, lastly, again, the final author that I purchased from, I did damage. So we're going to talk about Jaquel J. Yes. I'm going to talk about the pre-orders, and then I'm going to talk about what made me late. So as far as my pre-orders, this is my pre-order bag. My homegirl Jazzy was like, "You bought the block," and I said, "And did. That's my business." So I ordered 2 sets. So I ordered the Delgado books 2 and series 2 and series 3. So series 2 is Capadonna's book. I have Capadonna 2, and Capadonna 3. I was a little concerned because I know that Jaquel has like 0.5s, but what I was told is that each one of the 0.5s are in their corresponding book. So this has 1 and 1.5, 2 and 2.5, and 3 and 3.5. Now I have not read these yet, but everyone talks about Cap. Like, everyone says that this is the guy, this is their dude, and I got a little bit of taste for him, but I hear he's very unhinged, comes out of prison, is ready to take over, and I'm very much wanting to be along for the ride. So I will be reading Capadonna this month, the month of October, for Glocktober. So be on the lookout for my thoughts for this one. And per usual, if I love it, I'm just gonna blaze through the series. So I'm glad to have all 3, because once you start, you can't stop. With that, I did get a bookmark that goes with it, and look at this man, fine as fine can be. Like, I understand. This is what I'm going to be envisioning as I'm reading this book, and I'm going to find myself having a time. So this is the first thing that I purchased from Miss Jaquel J as far as my pre-order. And then I said, okay, well, if I get series 2, I got to get series 3, because my good sis, Capri, let me know I already loved her. When I read her in Capone, I was like, oh yeah, we finna be besties. Like, you don't have no friends? No problem. I'm your girl. And because I love that each one, this is the only series that, or only set that Jaquel has where the covers are different. I had struggled so long of determining if I wanted to purchase the books, because each one of Capone's and Capadonna's are literally the same stock image. It just has number 2, number 3 on it, and I want my covers to be different and diversified. And it's okay. She didn't give me that with Capadonna. She didn't give me that with Capone. But she did give me that with Capri. And I said, bet. I know you love Capri, because I love Capri. And the reason why I know you love Capri is the way in which you did her covers. So this is Capri 1. You can't see either one of their faces, but she is cradling his neck. And this is book 1. In book 2, it's a little bit different. She is over his back, and she is like covering him, and I'm like, oh, okay, sis, this already tells me the vibes. And then book 3, you can see that they're holding hands, and in my mind, walking off into the sunset. Like, each one of these covers tell a different story to me, and it tells the relationship. So in this one, he is meeting her, he is protecting her, he's like, hey, you've had a hard time with your husband, no spoiler. You've had a hard time. Let me be the man for you. She's like, okay, baby, I got you. Let's hold it together. I can protect you and cover you, and I'm gonna be that woman. And baby, we walking off the sunset. Ain't nothing else coming. Like, we got each other. We're good. This is what I envision for the storyline. Whether or not I'm right, I don't know. I'll tell you as soon as I read it. But I needed to have Capri. One, because everyone that I tend to interact with as well, like my homegirl Jasmine, she's like, Capri's my big dog. Like, I love her down. Like, this my girl. This is her comfort read. I also met a lady in Jacquel line that was damn near hyperventilating to get this book. She was just like, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. Like, if it's not there, I'm gonna pass out. I'm a fan. I'm gonna throw a tantrum. And I was like, okay, sis, like, you can step in front of me because I already got it. I've already secured the bag. I understand that this is Big Ma is your gal, so hopefully it's there for you. But when I see people have that type of visceral reaction, that lets me know pre-order was worth it. Now, surprisingly, and here is Capri's bookmark. Look at this gorgeous, beautiful face. Like, gorgeous. This is like face card decline wear. Surprisingly, I don't know if it was just like, thank you for pre-ordering, like, or if this was a mistake, but either way, I got an extra book in my bag, which was Wolf and Chic's Clothing. This one, I think, is the first of a different series, and I'm like, oh, say less. Y'all want me to read the rest of Jacquel's catalog? I will. And so this is the book that I got from Jacquel. Absolutely can't wait to get this. I believe this one is a contemporary romance, so it's going to be something different from the Delgado series, which means that Jacquel has range. That's all that's telling me. And so those are the books that I pre-ordered from her. Now, I told y'all I got back in line because her husband was like, okay, let's release the Kraken. We got some more books out in the back. Let's sell them. And I said, excuse me? I said, okay, well, if you have Capone, I'll take that, because Capone is actually getting picked up for traditional publish. And I love that for her. Shouts out to you, my good sis. You are well worthy, deserving of this. Like, if no one else has been putting in work, ma'am, you have been putting in overtime. You have been taking up all of the hours on the clock. And we are ever grateful. So if anybody deserves to be traditionally published and get the books out there, it's you. However, with that comes new covers typically. And me, 9 times out of 10 when a book gets traditionally published, I actually don't like the new covers. And I know I just said I don't like the fact that each one of her books have the same person, the same cover, the same stock image. Like, it doesn't change. It's just 1, 2, and 3. I know that's what I said. However, I'm a traditionalist. I have to have the original before everyone else gets whatever's left. And so I needed to get Capone 1, 2, and 3. I love this series. I gave book 1 4, and I think I gave book 2 and book 3 5 stars. Like, I was at first a little bit like, okay, well, what's the tea? Like, everybody is talking about this series, and I read this, so I was like, it was cool. It wasn't what y'all were giving, but then I read book 2, and I said, let me shut up. Let me stop talking, because sometimes I talk too much, and when I talk too much, I put my foot in my mouth. And here is me inserting foot and said mouth. So when I got to book 2, I said, I understand. When I got to book 3, I said, got to pre-order the rest of the Delgado series because got to have it. So that being said, I knew I needed to grab these. And this is right here why I was late. This is the whole reason why I missed my train. Again, would I say it's worth it? Depends. Am I happy to have these on my shelf? You bet your bottom dollar. So that is what I picked up from C.U.B.E. Do I recommend it? Yes. If you're in the Midwestern region, if you are wanting to see an author that you have not seen before for free, if you just want to support Black indie romance bookish events, check them out. Can't wait to see what Jessica does in 2026. That being said, let me know what author that I spoke about is one that is on your must-see list in 2026. If you want to do any of that, do me a favor. I am going to ask you to leave me a fall emoji for autumn, which we are now in. So leave me like a leaf emoji, anything that screams fall to you, whether you want to leave a pumpkin, any type of autumn type of emoji, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Ice